Right now at 5, we learn more details about a fatal hit-and-run case in Cherokee County.
And we've got another mild start out there, another hot and sunny day, maybe an isolated shower or storm. A look at that forecast, get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, we hear from a Pittsburgh native now going to school in the area where the hurricane was hit.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday. It's been Tuesday for so long. I know yesterday I was a little under the weather. It's only the second time I haven't made it to a morning show because I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
But I also understand that a number of things, this is why I never call in. And I promise I won't do it again unless the leg falls off.
But it's okay. We hope you're feeling better.
Getting there. Well, it's actually Thursday for those of you who may really not know the way this week's been so far. But it is Thursday, and it's going to be another hot day across the area. Look outside with our camera downtown Pittsburgh. We're looking good. Got a few clouds here and there, and we'll take a look from our camera at 7th and Range Line. And again, it's a little bit dark, but I assure you, like I had to assure you a couple of days ago, there's a couple of clouds out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line, also not bad this morning. We'll head over to the KDOT camera at 69 East 520th Avenue. Also looking pretty good. And it's been a minute since I mentioned it, but now we're in spooky season. You need to go back and watch Poltergeist, the original one from '82, and watch the stairs scene where those ghosts are coming down the stairs. Cars coming down the highway on this camera, it looks just like that scene. It always freaks me out. Skywatch Storm Tracker, got a few showers out there. They're very isolated. They're not very big. So this one northwest of Fredonia on 400. And little spotty activity here into parts of Bourbon County and into Elk County. And that's going to be the case again today. Similar to what we saw a couple of days ago, what we saw a little bit yesterday. We've got an opportunity in parts of southeastern Kansas and into northeastern Oklahoma for a shower or two. So the future track, again, this is not a big area of rain, unfortunately. But within this zone, through the morning and into the late afternoon hours today, we could see an isolated shower or storm out there. The majority of us are simply going to be hot and dry. 58 Joplin, 55 in Pittsburgh, so not too terribly bad to start the day. Not where we should be, but not bad. Some of us, though, relatively close to normal. A little further south, low 50s, and we've got mid and upper 50s as we get this Thursday underway. Kids getting on the bus this morning, low 50s, maybe a stray shower or two out in Kansas. Southeast winds 5 to 10 when the bus brings them home. Again, an isolated shower storm west of 69. Otherwise, hot 86. Still, southeast winds 5 to 10. Our highs today, mid upper 80s out there. And I don't think I updated these temperatures. But either way, it's going to be mid-upper 80s across the region, maybe even a 90-degree reading or two. I will get this corrected for everyone. We'll have the latest on your forecast, how we're looking into the weekend, and the latest on Milton here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Northeast Oklahoma authorities investigate the discovery of a body. Ottawa County Sheriff's Office confirms the discovery of a man's body near 22nd Northeast at the Tar Creek Bridge. Now, the Grand River Dam Authority has requested assistance from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation at what they call a suspicious death crime scene. The Miami Police Department is also working the case. I'll bring you more details as this story develops on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Unsealed court documents reveal a more clear timeline of the hit-and-run fatality that happened back in August in Cherokee County. Rocco Joseph of Joplin is charged with felony leaving the scene of a fatal crash where a pedestrian, 60-year-old Gary LaTurner of Galena, was killed. Now, Joseph's father, Dr. John H. Joseph, is charged with leaving the scene of a fatality accident and contributing to a child's misconduct or deprivations. The Kansas Highway Patrol obtained search warrants for the cell phones of Joseph and his father. The GPS locations compared with multiple security cameras put the son at the scene of the fatal crash, meeting with his father in Missouri, and then both returning together to observe the Kansas crash scene 40 minutes later. LaTurner's body was found in the south ditch of K66 10 hours after the crash. We have more on the history of this case as well as extensive court documents on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The U.S. Supreme Court is grappling with a life or death decision. Yesterday, the justices heard oral arguments regarding an appeal for Richard Glossip. Now, the Oklahoma death row inmate was convicted of arranging the murder of a man in 1997. The High Court must determine if state courts should review allegations that prosecutors withheld evidence relevant to the case. The novelty of the case is the fact both the state and the inmate agree the conviction should be overturned.
What an honor it was to represent the Attorney General in the state of Oklahoma in this case. As the Supreme Court has said on other occasions, it's not every day that an Attorney General confesses error. And I think it's one of the noblest things that a prosecutor can do is to recognize that a prosecution the state has procured cannot stand and that there should be a retrial.
The 61-year-old Glossip has eaten his last meal on death row 3 times. Each of those scheduled executions were stayed. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The impacts of Hurricane Milton are already being felt by some residents in the 4 states. KOAM Samantha Walker sat down with 2 Pittsburgh natives who experienced the storm's evacuations firsthand.
So it was kind of surreal. You could see panic hitting Monday, and we were just ready to get out of there.
Maddie Burdick, a Pittsburgh native, loves playing college softball in Daytona Beach. When Hurricane Helene hit, she was allowed to shelter in her dorm. But as Hurricane Milton nears, it became obvious that wasn't an option for her.
But Milton, it just kept getting worse, and we were just thinking of how we were going to evacuate when it was possible, just because of classes and everything like that. So it was a little more stressful just trying to figure out plans and everything like that, because it started to look even worse as it went on.
Her mom, Jennifer, was visiting when news of the hurricane broke.
The weather just completely shifted, and it got really windy, and the tide started coming. It almost looked like the ocean was a little angry.
Yeah.
So we went back to our hotel, and we had already been watching the weather, but we realized, okay, this is probably it's time to we went ahead and booked her ticket.
As they tried to leave the area, they saw how others were preparing for the hurricane. Many of those staying purchased generators and boarded up their homes. Others tried to move as far from the storm's projected path as possible.
Traffic was already really, really backing up. And gas prices, in a matter of, 3 hours, gas prices went from $2.60 something to $3.15, and you could just see the lines of vehicles lining up for gas.
Jennifer and Maddie say they're grateful to have made it out of the area when they did, and are thinking about those near the coast.
I have a couple of friends and teammates that are still in Fort Myers. We have Fort Myers, and then some are in Orlando, so it's just kind of praying for them as well.
Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, Maddie says she isn't sure when her college classes will resume, but she has a ticket to return to Daytona Beach Monday night. While residents of Florida are preparing for Hurricane Milton, people are still recovering from the damage of Helene. Workers from the Carthage Water and Electric Plant traveled to Tallahassee to help respond to the damage from Helene. They headed there before the storm in anticipation of the damage, and they were able to assess damage and help Tallahassee residents regain power after the power outages.
Through the night, you hear the wind and the rain, you do hear that some. You're a little bit sheltered just because of the hotel you're in or wherever it is you're staying. And then when we woke up the next morning, we had 53,000 people out of power.
Now, while Moore was there, he noticed many broken poles and trees that were down and laying across roads. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Gorillas and Lions are a month away from beginning their basketball season. We'll have those details. Plus, baby pandas born at the Berlin Zoo opened their eyes for the first time. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Miami High School softball has a chance to punch its ticket to the Class 4A state tournament after the Lady War Dogs won their regional at home last week. They advanced to Super Regionals today. It's a best-of-3 series at Wagner. The Lady War Dogs lost the first game 6-4. Then, with their backs against the wall, they win the second end of the doubleheader 3-2. That forces a winner-take-all Game 3 this afternoon between the War Dogs and Bulldogs. First pitch is scheduled for noon. Winner advances to the state tournament. A month ago, all 4 of our local Division II college basketball teams will have begun their season. Tuesday, we heard from the head coaches at the MIAA Media Day. Now, let's turn to the players, starting with the floor general for the Gorillas men's team.
This year, our main focus is getting back to that conference championship. We ended up as runner-ups, but we really do want that back. So we just been sitting here working, trying to get back to that, then hopefully get us a higher seed in the national tournament to be able to maybe host the tournament. Coach is looking at me to be more of a on-the-court leader than I was last year. We had the seniors. I was learning through them, but this year he wanted me to step into the leadership roles.
Missouri Southern men's basketball has almost an entirely new team. The Lions bring in 9 freshmen and transfers and return just 2 players that started multiple games.
We've been really emphasizing defense this year. I think that's going to be a major part for us this year. We're a lot longer this year, taller, stronger, so it should help us get a lot more leads.
Yeah, the team chemistry. It's a really fun group to be around, from the top to bottom. Everybody gets along. Outside the locker room, inside the locker room. So just staying together, building that bond, building that chemistry is one of the biggest things right now.
Missouri Southern women's basketball also has quite a few fresh faces, but the Lions do bring back multiple starters from a group that won 20 games a year ago.
I think we just have to be able to finish games. I think that's something we struggled with last year. We weren't able to finish some games that we really needed, especially at the end of conference play. That kind of bumped our seeding down for the tournament and put us in a hard spot where it was win or go home, and we went home.
It's just continuously, in practice, building that connection, just because we do have half transfers, half returners, which is nice, but I think it's just building from there and getting that team chemistry and moving forward.
Last but certainly not least, Pitt State women's basketball won the MIAA tournament for the first time ever last year. The Gorillas return a lot of impact players from that team.
And it's just great to return people who you've played with and who you've been at the lowest of lows with, and obviously the highest of highs too. And so when you share those moments with people, it just creates a special bond, and you can clearly see that when we play together on the court. And I think it's just everyday attitude, showing up, willing to work, never getting complacent, never, just putting it in cruise, just always foot on the gas, ready to work every day.
Closing things out with Major League Baseball, Game 3 of the American League Division Series between the Yankees and the Royals. New York wins it 3-2. The Yankees take the lead off a solo home run from Giancarlo Stanton in the top of the 8th inning, and the Royals now have an elimination game tonight. Well, still to come, a new study identifies more than 600 different viruses on shower heads and toothbrushes. Plus, another look at that toasty forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 on this Thursday morning. We're starting the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which is showing a couple of stray showers out here. So one getting ready to roll into Fredonia. Got another one just outside of Elk County. And little blobs here and there across parts of southern Bourbon County as well. There's not much out there, and we're not really expecting there to be that much out there through the day. But some isolated showers and storms will be possible west of 69 as we head through the morning and into the early afternoon. Here's what it looks like on future track. So again, these green highlights are simply showing where those rain chances will be. It's not necessarily saying that there will be a big area of rain across parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, which stinks because we need it, but we're going to get at least a little bit of something here and there. And once we get past, say, 5-6 o'clock, those chances will begin to drop significantly, and we'll have mostly clear skies as we head into the overnight hours. And again, the majority of us, though, unfortunately, hot and dry. Our Friday, we'll have another brief opportunity, though it's not necessarily showing up now on the future track, but a very brief opportunity for another isolated shower or storm west of 69 as we head into our Friday. Saturday, we're going to have a few extra clouds out there to start the day. day, and then by the afternoon we clear out again. Still going to be hot as we go through Saturday. In fact, Saturday will be one of the warmer days that we see. However, I'm going to advance this. It stops at 1 a.m., but take a look at 1 o'clock in the morning. See this wind shift line? We have a cold front coming through, and that is going to at least temporarily reduce temperatures out there for us. Here's Hurricane Milton now beginning to make its way offshore, at least what's out there. Still a Category 1 storm with winds at about 75 miles an hour. And, of course, it made landfall as a strong Category 3 around Siesta Key, just south of Tampa Bay, and is continuing to track across the Florida Peninsula and will eventually make its way out into the Atlantic. All right, here at home, a bit mild out there. 58 this morning in Joplin. Skies are mostly clear. South-southeast breeze at about 5. And across the region, temperatures, some of us about average. In fact, take a look at Miami now, down to 49, so a little below normal. We've got low, mid, and upper 50s as we get this day started. So again, some of us close to normal, others a little above normal, but either way, Payne, it's still not a bad start to the day. So we've gone ahead and put on the isolated shower and storm chances. Again, west of 69. The majority of us will be dry as we head through the morning. And we'll make about the mid-70s by 11 o'clock. Heading into the afternoon, though, temperatures 10, 15 degrees above normal again. Mid-upper 80s out there with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And again, an isolated shower or storm out west. Those chances will begin to wind down. Will be mostly clear through the evening. Mid-60s by 10. Overnight lows into the upper 50s and low 60s. Again, just a few clouds here and there. Then we head into the weekend. Now tomorrow, again, a little hotter, upper 80s, low 90s for Saturday. A little cooler Sunday. We're going to go down into the upper 70s, some low 80s. But then take a look at Monday. Temperatures drop into the mid-60s for our highs for Columbus Day. And then as we head into the rest of next week, unfortunately, like we've seen, it's another brief cool down back into the low to mid 80s toward the end of next week with some additional shower and thunderstorm chances. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, a new study identifies more than 600 different viruses living on shower heads and toothbrushes. It's a number the study's lead researcher calls absolutely wild. Many of the microbes on toothbrushes come from a mixture of the human mouth and the surrounding environment. On the shower heads, many originate from water sources, but these viruses are not the kind that make you sick. Bacteriophages or phages are the natural enemy of bacteria. Now, each tripod-looking phage has evolved to hunt, attack, and eat a specific bacterial species. Phages are currently in clinical trials with hopes to create new drugs to treat antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Now, the lead researcher said there's also interest in using them to create more sophisticated drugs that can only kill the bad bacteria, unlike broad-spectrum antibiotics. Well, according to a national survey, a quarter of employers say they're considering adding coverage for GLP-1 drugs for weight loss. Now, these are medications like Wegovy that are intended for diabetes patients but have become popular for just weight loss use. Medications like these have been typically covered by employers for diabetes, but not so much for employees who aren't diagnosed with the condition. Now, workers will now learn whether they'll be eligible during open enrollment launching this month at some companies. A percentage of employers already covering the medication say they're considering dropping the drug given the cost. Wegovy, for example, is about $1,350 for a 4-week supply. Well, being an adult isn't always easy. Odds are you're juggling more than one thing at a time, and it may all feel overwhelming. Or have you wondered what else you can endure? Well, Mandy Gaither explains the impact emotional exhaustion can have and has ways to overcome it.
You may be a caretaker or parent, have a high-pressure job, or grieving a loss. Maybe it's all of the above. Sometimes life can leave you feeling drained.
The impact is quite large, both emotionally and also physically.
Dr. Denise Milstein with Mayo Clinic says emotional exhaustion is when your feelings become overwhelming. It can lead to symptoms like anxiety, irritability, and lack of focus. There can also be physical symptoms like fatigue, headaches, and lack of appetite.
I think one of the difficulties with emotional exhaustion is that it's not exactly a clinical diagnosis that would be captured in an office visit, for example.
That's why Milstein says it's important to stay aware of your feelings and address them. Eat a healthy, balanced diet. It's the core of well-being. Get regular exercise. Identify unhelpful thoughts such as you're not good at something, then replace them with balanced thoughts.
See if it's actually the reality or something you were just conditioned to believe early on and have never stopped to re-examine.
Finally, she says to find a method for stress management that's right for you.
These can include apps or books, journaling, or going to group sessions or therapy. The important thing is that you do something and you do it with intention.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the doctor says that emotional exhaustion tends to make people less efficient, less productive, and less present in their work environments. So she says to remember that it can have an impact on many different aspects of life. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a bit of a mild start for some, others about average. We'll take another look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, a candidate for U.S. Senate makes a stop in southwest Missouri.
And we've got a fairly decent start to the day out there, even a couple of showers. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, some Cherokee County agencies team up to help provide low-income housing information.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just now 5:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is officially Thursday.
Yes.
One more day until the weekend, and it's going to be another.
Finally got the day right, Chris.
Oh, well, sometimes I get it right. Not all
Yes,
the time.
yes.
But, it could be Tuesday for all we know.
No, but it's like Friday Eve right now.
It is. It's Friday Eve. I like that. I like that. It's Friday Eve here in the 4 states, and we've got a few showers out there. We're going to take a look at those in just a moment, but first, a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Looking fairly good this morning. Got a few clouds here and there. Save from our camera at 7th and Range Line. A little difficult to see on the camera itself, but there are some clouds out there, and we'll show you those on the Skywatch Storm Tracker in just a moment. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line also looking good as folks get their day started, and same from the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue. So here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and here are those showers that are out across the western portions of our area. So we have a few little isolated specks right here into parts of southern Bourbon County. We got this shower kind of rolling into Fredonia. And we got some slightly heavier rain now rolling into parts of Elk County out there as well. This is going to remain very isolated, but we will have opportunities for some isolated showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, primarily west of 69, but that opportunity will extend down into northeastern Oklahoma as well. And this will be with us through the morning and into the late afternoon, early evening hours. So the future track, these green areas here, just highlighting where those chances are going to be. But in all honesty, even though it's still showing up at 8, I think by the time we get to about 6 o'clock or so, those chances are going to begin to dwindle. We got 58 in Joplin, 56 in Pittsburgh. And again, some of us, like Joplin and Pittsburgh, above normal. Others at normal. Miami below normal at 49, so a mix of 50s otherwise out there, low, mid, and upper. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Again, a few isolated showers for some of us. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies, 53. Southeast winds 5 to 10. That wind continues into the afternoon. Maybe an isolated shower or storm west of 69 and warm, 86. And that's where our highs are headed, and I told you I'd fix this. I just didn't change the temperatures, but I got them changed this time. Mid, upper 80s out there, partly cloudy. Again, an isolated shower storm or two out to our west. We're going to take another full look at your forecast, talk about a cold front this weekend, and the latest on Milton here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a candidate for the U.S. Senate made a stop in southwest Missouri last night. Lucas Kunze hosted a rally at VFW Post 534 in Joplin. Now, the 13-year Marine veteran is running for the Senate seat currently held by Josh Hawley. At the event, Kunze talked about his platform of running for everyday Missourians.
The biggest thing on me in this campaign is that the only people I want to owe are everyday Missourians like those in that old neighborhood. So I take no money from corporate PACs, no money from federal lobbyists, no money from big pharma executives. None of these people who've been buying off our, weak-minded, ambitious, hungry politicians and using them to strip our communities for parts.
After 3 deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, Lucas was stationed at the Pentagon, where he served on the Joint Staff. Last month, we told you about a 13-year-old Joplin teen, Drake May, and the art club he helped create for other kids. Well, yesterday, Drake and members of the art club took a field trip to the Joplin Humane Society. Now, the group got to see how the JHS operates, where the animals stay, and found out how to volunteer.
That the kids that are in art club take away that they can make a difference in the community, and that people who are needing a pet could come in and pick one that still needs a forever home, and they're really taken care of here. They get all their vaccinations and they're microchipped, they're spay and neutered, so they're just ready for you to take them home and love them.
Well, the trip comes as a follow-up to last week's class where the kids practiced pet portraits. Well, some Cherokee County groups team up to assist people in need of low-income housing. The Cherokee County Health Department and the USDA Rural Development Program will host an event next Tuesday on how to fill out applications for Section 502 and 504 housing. Now, event organizers hope to also provide information on the financial impacts of low-income housing and on low-income energy assistance.
Whether is this going to make my house value go up, or how is this going to make my insurance maybe go up or down since it's more safe? That way then maybe their cost of their insurance may be lowered, various different things like that. And also, we're also going to have another individual there that will help out with LEAP, so the local or low-income energy assistance program as well.
The event will be held at the Crossroads Christian Church on October 15th at 2 p.m. Well, the Wood Farm Pumpkin Patch is celebrating 19 years this year, and age doesn't matter as there is something for everyone to do when you visit. A few new additions include a kiddie carnival ride for little kids and rat rollers for older kids.
We started in 2005 when our oldest son was a kindergartner, and the school reached out and wanted to provide a little fall activity, so we set up a little roadside pumpkin patch, and it's just grown every year since then.
Wood Farms Pumpkin Patch is open every weekend now till October 27th from noon to 6 p.m. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The tail end of Hurricane Milton causes a storm surge in Cuba, showing off how powerful the storm is. Plus, Israeli Defense Forces continue battering northern Gaza with airstrikes. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, get ready for your daily dose of cuteness. 2 6-week-old panda cubs open their eyes for the first time at the Berlin Zoo. The giant panda twins have started to react and be curious about their surroundings, and you can see them moving around on their blankets, but don't be fooled, their day is still mostly just involves drinking, sleeping, growing, and getting lots of cuddles with Mom Mang Mang. According to the director of the Berlin Zoo, the 2 cubs now weigh more than 4.4 pounds and will be shown to the public for the first time next week. Well, Hurricane Milton showing its power yesterday in Cuba, causing a storm surge that flooded the streets around the capital's seaside area. High waves jumped over barriers and washed up onto the road in Havana as the storm headed towards Florida's Gulf Coast. The Cuban Weather Service says the surge continued throughout yesterday. Milton did not make landfall in Cuba, but even at its tail end, the hurricane is proving to be extremely powerful. While Israel continues its fight against Hamas and Hezbollah, President Biden and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hold talks on the rising tensions in the Middle East. Mike Emanuel has the story.
Israeli Defense Forces continue battering northern Gaza with airstrikes, while also expanding a week-long ground offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon. At the same time, Israeli military officials say they are plotting a response to a massive missile attack from Iran last week.
Our attack will be lethal, precise, and above all surprising. They will not understand what happened and how it happened. They will see the results.
The fighting is at the center of talks between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Both leaders spoke on the phone for 30 minutes Wednesday. It was the first time the two talked one-on-one in nearly 7 weeks.
It was direct, it was productive. They discussed a range of issues.
The call comes amid growing fears of a wider war in the Middle East. While the White House continues to strongly support Israel's right to defend itself, it is also pushing for a de-escalation of tensions.
Ultimately, a diplomatic resolution is the only way to achieve lasting stability and security across the Israel-Lebanon border.
And in a sign of the diplomatic tightrope the administration is walking with Israel, the State Department also made clear today it supports Lebanon's autonomy.
We cannot and must not see the situation in Lebanon turn into anything like the situation in Gaza. No country in the region should dictate to the Lebanese people who their leaders are. Not Israel, not the United States.
The White House says Vice President Kamala Harris also took part in today's call. In Washington, Mike Emanuel.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 544 coming up on 545 on this Thursday morning, starting with the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which does have at least a little bit of precipitation out there. We've got this shower just rolled through the Fredonia area. We've got another slightly heavier shower southwest of Howard, another one to the northwest of Howard. And then we've had some light little spotty, drizzly spots in parts of southwestern Bourbon County. Not a lot out there. We're not expecting a lot to be out there. We do have some cloud cover, though, so we've got even upwards of mostly cloudy skies in parts of southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and that's where those rain chances are going to remain. On the future track, this green area here, again, unfortunately, is not a broad area of rain, but it is a highlighted area showing where the better chances of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm will be as we head through the morning into the afternoon and evening hours. Now, on the future track, it does hang around a little bit later, but I do believe after 5 or 6 o'clock, the majority of these rain chances are going to be just about gone. And that'll leave us with mostly clear skies overnight tonight. Heading into Friday, though, winds are going to pick up out of the southwest with some gusts upwards of 20 miles an hour. That will also, of course, push our temperatures a little warmer than what we're expecting today. And we could see another isolated shower or storm west of 69. But the chances tomorrow are actually even lower than what they are today, and they're not even that great today. And we head into our Saturday. Initially, some mostly cloudy skies to start, but then as we head into the afternoon, those skies begin to clear, and we are looking at probably the hottest day all week on our Saturday. Now, this future track, it stops at 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, but I want to show you that point because see this wind shift line? That's a cold front coming through late Sunday into early Monday, and that's going to at least briefly cool our temperatures. Here's Hurricane Milton, kind of a little more disorganized now that it's made landfall across Florida. Still technically Category 1 strength with winds upwards of 85 miles an hour as it's now made its way just to the south of Daytona Beach, making landfall near Siesta Key, south of the Tampa Bay area. And of course, it will continue to push off into the Atlantic and continue an easterly course out there. But there are some tropical storm warnings up the Carolina and Georgia coastlines with just how big Milton is. Temperatures in our area, 58 in Joplin, and otherwise we've got a few clouds out there, not many, but a few. And we've got a broad range of temperatures. Miami's come back up to 50, so we're all in the 50s. Some of us a little closer to normal, some of us a little above normal, but we've got low, mid, and upper 50s to start our day. Temperatures this morning, mid-50s. Again, isolated shower will be possible, maybe an isolated storm as well, west of 69. Mid-70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs today going into the upper 80s. We'll do that again on our Friday, maybe even a couple of 90-degree readings. Then we'll have low 90s for us on Saturday. Upper 70s by Sunday, but that cold front puts us in the low to mid-40s Sunday night and only into the mid-60s Monday. However, we warm up again pretty quickly, low 80s, and some additional shower and thunderstorm chances toward the end of next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, travel can be transformational. Sometimes an unfamiliar place can put your life in a revealing new light. And that's a case in a new romantic drama streaming this weekend. David Daniel talked with the stars about the film.
Madam, welcome to the Writers' Retreat.
Lonely Planet stars Laura Dern as an author who flies to Morocco to try to finish her latest book.
I just need a quiet place to work.
And Liam Hemsworth as another writer's plus one.
Do you write fiction or non-fiction?
Neither. I'm just here with my girlfriend.
She only reads Sports Illustrated.
Both realize they're searching for more than sightseeing and souvenirs.
The importance of self-worth in a relationship and what real love is, which is, I think, being seen and heard and understood.
She's longing for something she wouldn't even know how to describe at this moment.
They make a quick connection, as did Dern and Hemsworth.
A feeling like we've known each other for years, a shorthand, making each other laugh, sharing, everything. Oversharing everything.
I think the point of travel is to show us the tiny place we occupy in the world.
That connection extended to filming and exploring in Morocco.
A lot of the time just felt like Liam and Laura hanging out in these various places, and we're walking along and we're talking, and then, cut, and then we're still talking and having fun, and then action again, and so we're just kind of, on this journey together around Morocco.
When you're stuck in life, you need to do something irrevocable.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, 2024's Fat Bear Week has come to an end. The yearly bracket-style competition allows online voters to choose a chubby champ. And while a winner has been crowned, the competition has also been a reminder of the brutality of nature. Patrick Cornell has that story in today's Take a Look at This.
A final matchup between bitter rivals has been a fitting end to Fat Bear Week 2024 in Alaska's Katmai National Park. Grazer goes back-to-back as the repeat champion, besting a bear named Chunk in the final round, more than doubling up her competitor's vote total. But there's some serious drama in the backstory. According to contest organizers, Chunk killed one of Grazer's cubs over the summer after it was swept over Brooks Falls, the location where bears gather to fatten up on salmon ahead of winter hibernations. And it's not the only bear-on-bear attack that caused strife for the competition. A deadly confrontation between two animals initially delayed the start of Fat Bear Week. All in all, a stark reminder that while the event is all in good fun, we're still dealing with wild animals. Next, check out this photograph. The underwater image just won the 2024 Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition. The picturesque pic called The Swarm of Life shows western toad tadpoles snaking through lily pads in Cedar Lake in British Columbia. Contest organizers say the species is threatened due to habitat destruction and predators. Canadian photographer Shane Gross spent hours silently snorkeling to take that spectacular shot. The picture was chosen as the winner from nearly 60,000 entries, and it's not the only amazing image. Life Under Deadwood took home the award for Young Wildlife Photographer of the Year. The piece from Alexis Tinker-Savalas pieces together 36 photographs of slime mole and a springtail to give us this very cool view. An exhibition of these photos opens at London's Natural History Museum on Friday. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Incredible photos. Hard to believe that those are even real. We'll stick around. We'll be right back.
We're told that the lottery would raise a lot of money for schools, but that didn't happen. Now, out-of-state gambling corporations want voters to believe the same false claims about their amendment too. Vote no on the deceptive online gambling amendment.
The interview set for KOAM News Now is provided by Wesco Home Furnishings. With 11 convenient locations across the 4 states, Wesco is your go-to destination for all your home furnishing needs. Wesco has the perfect match for KOAM, and chances are they will have the perfect match for you too.
Teens have drama. One more minute. Braces add more drama.
Oh, how does anyone do this?
Invisalign is better oral hygiene and no drama.
$0. That's what the state's official analysis found Missouri schools could get from Amendment 2. As a retired teacher, that offends me. Stop the out-of-state corporation's massive expansion of online gambling. No on 2.
Scam alerts. I'm Lisa Oligas. This week on Newsmakers, we visit with the Better Business Bureau about the riskiest scams, red flags, and why you don't want to click on some text messages. Plus, the Scam Survival Kit on Newsmakers, Saturday at 5:30 a.m. on KOAM.
The Peace Church Cemetery Group invites you to a historical walking tour Saturday, October 12th at either 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Learn about some of the residents of the cemetery. Adults $12 with all proceeds to cemetery upkeep.
Well, a new survey reveals where coffee chains rank in terms of affordability. A survey by Technomic via Restaurant Business says only 51% of customers say they believe Starbucks is affordable. That's last compared to its competitors. And the survey also found the most affordable coffee chain is Canada-based Tim Hortons with 15 locations in the U.S. 79% of customers surveyed say this was the best choice if you don't want to break the bank. Coming in a tie for second place is Dunkin' and Peet's Coffee with 74% agreeing on the chain's affordability, followed by Dutch Bros in third place. Well, today is a day to celebrate an especially delicious art form. It's National Cake Decorating Day. A dessert dating back for centuries is being celebrated with the modern twist. Decorated cakes carry out the theme for many of life's key celebrations, from birthdays to weddings and more. So October 10th is the day to thank your favorite cake decorator. Whether it's using icing, buttercream, meringue, or fondant, cake decorations have many ways to express their edible art.
I've seen some pretty cool, very neatly decorated cakes out there. I think so. My favorites are, there was one YouTube video, this guy, he had a cake that looked like an animal. Yeah. And he looked like his animal, and then he cut off like its head or something in front of his pet.
Is it cake or is it real
type
of things?
And the pet like freaked out, and I thought it was fantastic. I was like, that's great. But there are some really cool cakes. Today, a great day. Every day is a great day for a cake. We'll have a few showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms west of 69 this morning, mid-70s by 11 o'clock. As we head into the afternoon, highs today soaring, upper 80s across the region. Again, an isolated shower storm out west will be possible. Those chances wrap up. Mostly clear through the evening, mid-60s by 10, upper 50s, low 60s tonight. A little warmer tomorrow, and again, maybe an isolated shower or storm, upper 80s, low 90s Saturday, our hottest day. Cold front comes in, though, Sunday night. Ahead of it, we drop into the upper 70s, mid-60s Monday, and then we heat back up. More rain chances toward the end of next week. We'll be back with more right after this.